My God, how can this be happening now? David Wellington yelled into the phone, his voice echoing through the marble-floored hallways of the 45th floor of Wellington Industries. The millionaire CEO paced back and forth in his glass office, watching through the floor-to-ceiling windows as the Chinese delegation stepped out of the three black cars parked at the entrance of the building. The official translator had just called to cancel at the last minute, a family emergency that couldn't wait. In just 15 minutes, executives from China's largest technology company would be sitting in the conference room to finalize a $200 million contract. $200 million that depended entirely on perfect communication. "Mr. Wellington, I've tried every translator in the city," said Rebecca, his executive assistant, a phone still glued to her ear. "No one is available for a meeting of this magnitude on such short notice." David loosened his Italian silk tie, sweat forming on his forehead. 20 years building Wellington Industries, and it could all come crashing down because of a language barrier. The Chinese were known for their strict communication protocols. They would never tolerate a meeting conducted through translation apps or improvised gestures. Then, a soft voice broke the tension. "Excuse me, Mr. Wellington, but I speak fluent Mandarin." All eyes turned. Standing quietly in the corner was Jasmine Parker, 28 years old, a cleaner in a navy blue uniform, holding nothing more than a cloth and spray bottle. She had paused mid-task, her eyes steady, her voice calm. The silence in the office was heavy. Even the hum of the air conditioning sounded loud. Rebecca gave a nervous laugh. "Jasmine, this isn't the time for jokes. We're talking about a multi-million-dollar international deal." David looked at Jasmine as though he was seeing her for the first time. "You speak Mandarin?" he asked. "Mandarin, Cantonese, and some Taiwanese dialect," Jasmine replied, her voice unwavering. "I studied Oriental linguistics at Howard University before I started working here." Rebecca frowned. "David, you can't be serious. She's a cleaning lady. The Chinese will laugh in our faces." But Jasmine held her ground. "I know their culture. I know their etiquette. I can help you." David, desperate, narrowed his eyes. "Prove it." Jasmine inhaled slowly, then began speaking in flawless Mandarin. The tones were precise, the rhythm natural, her words flowing with confidence. David didn't understand a word, but he felt the authenticity. "What did you just say?" he asked. "That it's an honor to meet you, and I hope our cooperation will bring mutual success," Jasmine translated. "A respectful business greeting." Rebecca folded her arms, clearly irritated. "David, this is insane." But David's gut told him otherwise. For 3 years, Jasmine had been invisible, cleaning tables, emptying bins, wiping glass walls. But in that invisibility, she had listened, she had observed, she had absorbed the language of power. "You have 10 minutes, David said finally. "Get yourself ready and meet me in the conference room." Rebecca's jaw dropped. "You're going to destroy everything we've worked for." But David turned away. He had no other choice. The boardroom was vast, its long mahogany table gleaming under golden lights. The Chinese delegation entered with quiet authority, led by Mr. Zhang, a stern man with sharp eyes and an impeccable dark suit. David rose to greet them, his smile tense. Then Jasmine entered. She had quickly changed into a simple but elegant black dress from the company's emergency wardrobe, clothes kept for accidents or last-minute crises. Her hair was tied nicely back, her posture graceful. She looked nothing like the invisible cleaner she had been minutes ago. When Jasmine began translating, the atmosphere shifted instantly. Her Mandarin was not just fluent, it was diplomatic, warm, and culturally precise. She didn't just translate words, she translated intentions. She softened David's blunt American style, made it respectful, even poetic. Mr. Zhang, who had arrived with a cold, unreadable expression, began to nod slowly. Halfway through, he even smiled. Rebecca sat in the corner, her face pale with disbelief. By the end of the meeting, Mr. Zhang extended his hand. He said, "This partnership will be the beginning of something great." The contract was signed, $200 million secured. David exhaled for the first time that day. He turned to Jasmine. "You just saved this company." But Jasmine only smiled politely. "It was my honor, sir." Over the next several weeks, Jasmine was no longer invisible. David called her into strategy meetings, at first as a translator, but soon as an advisor. Her insights stunned him. She knew the subtle cultural gestures that could seal or destroy a deal. She understood people's psychology, spotting hidden motives Rebecca herself had missed. Whispers spread across the company. "The cleaner saved the deal. She's smarter than half the executives here." Rebecca, however, was furious. She had always considered herself David's right hand, but now, in every meeting, Jasmine outshone her. One late night, David discovered documents on Rebecca's desk that didn't belong. Private correspondences, financial leaks, evidence she had been passing sensitive company information to competitors. When confronted, Rebecca broke down. She had sabotaged Jasmine from the start, terrified of being replaced. Her career was over. David promoted Jasmine to Director of International Relations. The board protested at first, a cleaner turned executive, but David silenced them with one sentence. "She speaks more languages, knows more about diplomacy, and saved more money than any of you sitting here." Jasmine entered her new office, the same floor she once mopped. Only now she carried not a cleaning cart, but a portfolio of billion-dollar contracts. Behind every empire, there are invisible people holding it together. Sometimes those invisible people carry more brilliance than the ones in suits. And Jasmine Parker was living proof. She was no longer just the woman who cleaned the rooms. She was the woman who changed the future of Wellington Industries.